I'm gonna cut your seatbelt, okay? I'm Officer Lipper with the Denver Police Department, okay?
Teenagers, we would get in trouble together. She's like my sister.
She was having dinner with a friend, left the place and was heading home.
This part does.
Yeah.
Keeping firearms for personal safety can seem justified until a teenager uses it to shoot someone over a minor car accident.
I'm sorry, Mom. Stop.
In today's video, we're going to see a case in which a teen shot woman in the head over a minor car accident. On February 20th, 2021, a tragic and senseless act of violence took place when 14-year-old Remi Cordova shot and took the life of Pamela Cabriales.
I want y'all to really know I feel for y'all, and I understand completely, I'm terribly sorry for the pain that you guys feel, but I cannot take responsibility for something that I did not do.
Pamela, a 32-year-old woman, had been on her way home after enjoying dinner with a friend when the horrific incident occurred. What should have been a regular night turned into a devastating loss for her loved ones. According to her friends and family, Pamela was an incredibly kind-hearted and generous person. Pamela was full of life, always smiling, and never caused harm to anyone. Beyond being a beloved friend and family member, she was also a devoted mother to her 6-year-old son, who was now left without his mother due to this heartbreaking crime. Pamela was known for her cheerful and fun-loving nature, bringing happiness to those around her. But in an instant, her life was taken away over something as minor as a fender bender.
We'll never get to see her again. So the individuals involved, they shouldn't have their freedom.
The police immediately began the investigation by questioning the people who were present at the scene when the incident took place. They wanted to gather as much information as possible to understand what had happened. One of the first witnesses they spoke to was Jaden Aarons, who had been driving home after finishing an appointment that evening. During her interview with the investigators, Jaden recalled hearing multiple loud noises while she was on the road. At first, she wasn't sure what the sounds were, but they were sharp and alarming. She explained that at the moment she didn't recognize them as gunshots right away. But
in my mind, thought it was fireworks or something,
Sure.
and just wasn't paying attention.
But her instincts told her something was wrong. Without thinking, she immediately ducked, reacting out of fear and instinct, as anyone would when faced with an unexpected and frightening sound. It wasn't until later that she realized those sounds were actually gunshots, which disturbed her even more.
Because the other two cars did it, and I felt like I was in danger, and I heard the shots coming, and I was ducking down, and I thought maybe they were going to hit me. I was scared to go that way, because again, I didn't know if they were coming from that vehicle.
Another witness, Alex Martinez, was also questioned by the investigators.
Did you hear the person that got out from the right front passenger seat of that car? Did you hear him say anything?
No.
Did you hear them yell anything?
No, not really.
He had been driving home after finishing a soccer match when he unexpectedly found himself near the horrible scene. As he recounted the events of that night, he explained that he had noticed someone wearing a black hoodie standing near the car.
And I just see a head go like this, but it had a hoodie on, so...
Okay, and was that from the front area of the car or the rear area of the car? So from the passenger side or driver's side?
Driver's side. It was a black hoodie.
Before he could fully understand what was happening, he saw the person pull out a gun and start shooting at the driver sitting in the front seat. The sudden sound of gunfire sent a wave of fear through Alex. He immediately ducked in his seat, trying to protect himself from any possible danger. His heart was pounding as he processed what he had just witnessed. After a few moments, when the shock slightly settled, he cautiously lifted his head to take a quick peek at the situation. That's when he saw the person in the hoodie continuing to fire shots at the driving seat. The whole incident left him shaken, unable to believe what he had just witnessed. When the police arrived at the crime scene, they saw Pamela's car had lots of bullet holes, and the glass on the vehicle was shattered from multiple gunshots.
Ma'am, I'm gonna cut your seatbelt, okay? I'm Officer Lipper with the Denver Police Department, okay?
152 Charlie, I've been battle, shut down southbound.
It was clear that a brutal and senseless attack had taken place. As the investigation unfolded, the authorities discovered that the shooter, Remi Cordova, had believed that Pamela had tapped his car in a minor fender bender. Instead of handling the situation calmly, Cordova turned to his friend Johnson and asked if he should shoot the driver. Instead of stopping him, Johnson simply responded with, "Do what you want to do." That was all the encouragement Cordova needed. Without hesitation, he stepped out of his car, holding an AR-15 rifle in his hands. Then, in an act of extreme violence, he fired between 15 to 20 shots directly at Pamela's Range Rover. The gunfire tore through the vehicle, leaving it completely shot up. When the police examined the car closely, they counted at least 8 bullet holes on the left side of the windshield alone. Realizing the severity of the situation, the officers quickly opened the car door and began searching for the identity of the victim. They found the ID card and soon confirmed that it was Pamela Cabriales.
Let me see if I can find an ID in her purse. Yeah. I don't know how you want to do this. You want to put the seat back as soon as you get to her? Hey, Scott, hold that seat. It's not going. Is there anything behind the seat? No.
It's all electric. Hang on, I got it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find an ID.
Without wasting another moment, they immediately called for medical assistance and got her into an ambulance, hoping to save her life. Pamela was in a critical condition when emergency responders arrived at the scene. The severity of her injuries was evident. Without wasting any time, they carefully placed her on a stretcher and rushed her to the hospital, hoping that she would survive. Once at the hospital, doctors and medical staff did everything they could to treat her severe wounds. She had suffered multiple gunshot injuries, and her body was struggling to fight through the trauma. Despite the best efforts of the doctors, her condition remained extremely serious. For the next couple of days, Pamela fought for her life, but the damage was too severe.
He gets up in the middle of the night, screaming and yelling. What about Leo's trauma? What about my mom?
Her injuries were beyond what her body could handle, and tragically, she passed away. A few weeks after Pamela's tragic death, the police were investigating a separate shooting incident that had taken place near a McDonald's. The shooting appeared to have started over a minor inconvenience, but what caught the investigators' attention was the vehicle involved in the case. Upon further examination, they realized that it was the same car connected to Pamela Cabriales' murder. With this discovery, the police moved quickly and arrested Nishan Johnson, one of the individuals linked to the vehicle. They brought him in for questioning, initially focusing on the McDonald's shooting. Investigators spent hours interrogating him about what had happened that night, but Johnson remained quiet as if he didn't know anything, trying to avoid giving away any details. However, as the questioning continued, the investigator suddenly shifted the conversation to Pamela's murder. When asked about the case, Johnson immediately denied having any knowledge of it.
As I told you before when we first started, it's a homicide investigation. I told you you're not free to leave, okay? You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you were there for something or somebody asked you to hold on to something, I need to know, okay? And not just for myself, but for yourself. You got a kid, right?
He insisted that he had nothing to do with it and acted as if he had no idea what the officers were talking about. But then the investigator presented a key piece of evidence. Police had found shell casings at the McDonald's shooting that matched the ones recovered from Pamela's murder scene. This connection was undeniable, and Johnson's attempts to distance himself from the crime began to crumble. He tried to avoid the questions, but the evidence against him was strong. Johnson was held for nearly 5 hours under intense questioning, yet he still refused to provide any useful information.
Oh, you're gonna cut it.
I don't know.
Okay. So what I'm asking you, this is your chance to be honest, okay? And I'm not saying you're not, so please don't be offended by that. Okay, but I don't know is not gonna cut it.
On the other hand, when Remi Cordova was interrogated, he spoke even less than Johnson, offering almost no details about the case. He cried in front of his mother and apologized to her for brutally murdering Pamela. Even though Cordova refused to talk about the incident, the investigator already knew a lot about him. He had a history of crimes as a juvenile and was already on the police radar for being involved in gang activities. Later, it was discovered that he killed Pamela to raise his status within the gang. Due to the seriousness of the crime, his case was moved from juvenile court to district court. He was charged as an adult with first-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder. The second charge was added because when Cordova fired the shots, another driver was also at risk of being hit, but managed to survive. This made it an attempted murder case as well. In November of last year, Cordova was found guilty. He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 40 years.
Expect the prosecution to be on our side from the beginning. And with what you heard there in the courtroom, it's apparent they're not. But we are satisfied with the judge's ruling for the prosecution to possibly reconsider the plea agreement.
Meanwhile, Nishan Johnson was sentenced to 35 years in prison for his role in the crime. Pamela's family continues to mourn her loss. Pamela's story is a heartbreaking reminder of how senseless violence can take innocent lives. Let's stand against such tragedies and work towards a safer, kinder world. Please show your support by liking this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one.